FX Street, and this is Tradewithufos Nailing FX, the US session. It is March the 4th. It's a Thursday, and I'm Andrew Hunt. You can reach me at andrew@tradewithufos.com. And before we get started, please read the disclaimer up the top here. And as it's scrolling through there, there's a couple of things here you'll see moving around, which is our free membership to tradewithufos.com. You can enter /Andrew, and that'll take you to a join page where you can see the place where you can enter your email and name. And what that will do is you'll get reminders of the sessions that we have here, as well as see our calendar and also the other times that we have my session, Nailing FX, as well as some of the other coaches who go through various other markets. And also you can find out more about our courses, the coaching that we do, as well as our apps. And so our apps, the Traditive apps, are what we go through here on these sessions, where we show you how to give you an idea of how we use those apps in the Forex world. Okay. And our new website, these kind of see flashing up here, is just newly released in February. And we also have a number of other things that we have done to improve the website and functionality. And so you could take a look at that. We do have courses, features, stocks, backtesting, and trading plans. And coming soon, we're going to be looking at giving some courses on options, the cryptocurrencies, as well as mindset. Now, part of the membership, you'll get our daily news flash, so the 3D daily news flash. And we also actually have a YouTube channel where Boyan or Becky go through the daily news flash and basically talk you through that. Okay, so let's get to the markets. Okay, this is our website here, right? Get a member, right? And you can join us right here. Okay, but let's take a look at what's going on. So it is Friday, and so, well, coming to Friday, today's Thursday, coming to Friday is non-farm payrolls. So this is the unemployment report. A big number is expected, jumping up from 49 to 182,000. That's the expectation. We also had the Fed chair kind of speaking, and so this is Singapore times. This is kind of out of where I am, here in Singapore. But that, if we kind of change that to Eastern Standard Time, if you are US, on the US side of things, then the unemployment rate will come out at 8:30 Eastern. The Fed today is going to talk at roughly about 12, just after 12 noon. Okay, so there could be some market moves from that coming up tonight. For me, morning, midday for those on the US Eastern Standard side. If you are in Europe, then you may want to go through and switch this to GMT, in which case it's going to be your afternoon for well, the Fed chair is kind of late evening, about 5 o'clock, and then next day it's about 1:30, so just after your lunchtime. So some big moves expected to happen here, I believe, and already we've seen some of that. So if we just go to, say, the dollar index here. So I always like to start with dollar index because it gives us a perspective of a basket of currencies, right? Predominantly, of course, the euro is making that up. Then you also have percentages in that index made up of commodity currencies like the Aussie, and then of course you have the Swiss and yen in there as well. And so what we've been seeing is a move up in early January, where we kind of peaked in early February, and then we've been having a retracement the rest of February, and then a move up in the last week of February into this week, where we're now pausing, of course, for non-farm payrolls. So we kind of do your zigzag lines, then you'll see that we have people are going to call this somewhat of a head with shoulders, or if you're looking at the other way now, right, you could even say that this is a inverse, head and shoulders forming here, right? So is this something that could potentially happen, right? Remains to be seen, but what we are looking at from this overall downtrend is some sort of corrective move, right? So we're not going to get any changes in the direction of or continuation, I should say, uh, in the direction of dollar weakness, right? Really until we break either of these two lows here, right? So what is the definition of a trend? Is really where you have like two highs and two lows, and since we have had a corrective move and even a corrective move to the upside, we could even see this as one big move here, right? So that's one, goes up here. I've got two coming down to the side here, right? And then three on this way, right? Heading up this way. Okay, so that could be a scenario that could be playing out, right? And so if we're looking at it from this perspective, then until we break this 91, say 91.6 area, we're not going to get a confirmation, right, of a move to the upside. And these are just little waves, right? These are little waves that make up the bigger ones. So these are sort of the little tricks of the trade where we go through those sorts of things in these sorts of coaching sessions that we do at Tradictive in our Trade with UFOs channel, and and that is in addition, right, to the use of the apps, how we in our courses, what we go through in our apps, right? So if you are interested in learning more about that, then of course just go to our Trade with UFOs /Andrew and just join, and you'll get more information on all of this. Okay. All right. So dollar, right, is in this sort of corrective move, and if we do have a break of that 91.60, then we can expect a little bit more strength in the dollar, but of course equally it could be a possibility that this is a lower high, right? And if that's the case, we would want to see a move, right, to the downside here, right? You want to see a move downside here, and so that would be breaking this low and that low. Then you'll have a continuation of this downtrend. Okay, so there's those two scenarios that are potentially playing out. And what is the auto climate telling us, on this daily time frame? It's telling us that it's bullish, right? The market conditions are currently bullish, and so we at this point in time are wanting to look for the opportunities to get in long. Okay, so I'm going to play the long side. Okay, I'm going to have that assumption that we're going to move up to the long side here. Okay, and let's say that this is going to go all the way up here. Right, is a potential. Right, and then we can use our auto UFOs just also to give us a bit of perspective of where there is buying interest and selling interest on this bigger time frame. And so that's why I've got this area kind of mapped out here. So if I didn't have uh, these lines here, okay, you'd be able to see. I'm just going to move this over here for the moment. Okay, you'll be able to see that we've got these little circles. Okay, if you haven't seen our auto UFOs before, they're going to be circles of either red for areas where we expect selling sell orders to appear, or green for where we expect buy orders to appear. Okay, so if they're this olive green, then that's where prices traded before, and so there's not as many unfilled orders there as these more solid greens here. Okay, and similar with the red side, if they're this dark red, then they tend to be those areas which have had price trade in those areas before. But if they're a brighter red, then that's where there's a more than likely a fuller complement, if I can use that word, of unfilled orders to be expected. Okay, so putting back these lines here. Okay. And where is the other one that was there? Okay, I've lost it, but never mind. I'll just do a new one. Okay, and I like to just use some of these drawing tools here so that we can turn these off, and then we have a a bit of a cleaner chart. I kind of like to keep my charts as clean and clear as possible. Okay, and I'm just going to remove these smaller ones here. Okay, just so that we keep the bigger picture in mind. Okay, and I'm going to dim those a little as well. Okay, just so that we can not be too distracted by those colors there. Oops. Okay, so with the dollar in mind there. Okay, let's going to take that down a little bit further. Okay. So keep in mind we're dollar strong, which means if we look at the euro, we would want to look at being short there. So let's just jump to the euro. Okay, and so these are the options here available to us. Okay, is a move in a similar direction. Okay, if we have this move up here. Just going to take this over here. Push that one to the downside. Okay, so this could be the options here, right? Moving to the downside. But again, inverse to the dollar, if we're going to have this sort of expectation, right, then we need to see a continuation. So a continuation to the downside will confirm this is a move lower, right? Okay, so if this is a situation, right, if we just focus on euro for the moment here, how do we, how can we get into this this trade here, right? So if we just go down to a smaller time frame, just to get a little bit more detail, right? We're able to use the auto UFOs to kind of give us an area, right? That if we are more of a conservative trader, right, we would probably look at some of these areas above here to get in at. Okay, let's just wait for. Okay, so depending on whether you're an intraday trader or a swing trader, if you're an intraday trader, you'd probably tend to go to these lower time frames. Okay, and if you're looking for a retracement to get into the trade, more than likely you're going to be looking at these areas up here. Okay, right, this is where the auto UFOs are showing up. Okay, and again, I'll just put a line here just so we can see where they are. Right, and so in terms of planning a trade, I'm going to remove this one so that we just focus in on this move to the downside. Right, you know, we can consider, say, this retracement, okay, back to this area here, right? Or it could be that you expect a move to be a little deeper, in which case it could go up here and then move to the downside, right? Or if you look for a even deeper retracement, right, then you could have this sort of plan, right? And so what the auto UFOs does is really focus you in on those areas where you expect there to be orders coming in, right? Where you expect interest for the sell orders to come in at. Right, so I'm just going to put that here. It's going to turn that off now, okay, just so that we can have a cleaner picture. And so it's a great, tool for planning, right? So again, if you've done your fundamental analysis and you have a expectation for euro going lower, then this would be one way you could use the auto UFOs tool to do your planning. And even if if you're a fib retracement sort of person, then this is what you'd more than likely do, right? Let's put a standard sort of Fibonacci's there. Okay, it's the other way around. Okay, so you got your 38.2. Let's put these lines on a little clearer. 50% here. Okay, I'm just gonna make these like this. Okay, so if you're more into a 50% retracement, then you're probably looking at this first level. If you like a deeper retracement, you're probably looking at this second level. And if you really are looking at a very deep retracement in the euro, then this is where you would have your third opportunity. Okay, so probably looking into today, we got to get too many moves. We've already had a move lower. Could we see, after the Fed chair kind of talking, could we see a price move up into these areas before selling off on Friday? I mean, that's a scenario that could play out, right? And so one that you could actually plan for, okay? Because what we're seeing here is, if we just go back to these higher time frames, maybe the 4-hour, what are we seeing on auto climate, right? Is a move to the downside, right? Even if you go back up to the daily, auto climate is telling us to look for selling opportunities, right? And so as an intraday trader, you could just go all the way down to the 15-minute with that perspective in mind, right? That you're going to be looking for shorting opportunities and just looking at that whole swing here, kind of plan your trades around that trend continuing to the downside and for a retracement trade, right? Now, of course, if you're looking for maybe you want to do a breakout trade, right? Then just going back to the daily here, right? You could say that this the low of the day that's currently in play. If you expect prices to continue lower, then maybe what you would do is look for a break of this current low, and if it does that, then you keep on going short, right? So that could be a breakout sort of trade opportunity. And since you're looking at intraday trading, where you would want to close out your position would be, by the end of, the US trading day would be, counting down, right? So we do the countdown. So that's 7 hours from now, right? So that's definitely going to be in, five, just before 6 o'clock US Eastern time. That's when you're going to see that tick over to the next day candle, so to speak. And if you do that, right, you'd want to be out by that 7th hour, right? And so where could that move? Where would you get out? Kind of depends on how many pips you're looking at. So let's say that, let's say you get in at this entry here, right? And let's say you want it to, maybe take about 50 pips out of that, right? Then that would be around this area here. So let's call it 2015, right? So 2015 is a target area you could take, right? So if you're planning your trades, I'll just move that up a little. Say about here. Okay, you get in at this point and exit at that point, right? So what's the risk? So let's get our calculator here. Where is the... Okay, I'm missing it. There it is, short. All right, so we get it at this point here. And if you have that's a pretty tight, 5 pips, you could, if you want to kind of do 15 pips, and that encompasses this whole area here. And you've got a target down here, okay, of 50 pips. That gives you a risk reward of 3:1. Okay, a bit more than 3:1, right? And that's not even taking it to the full measure of, of where it had been in the prior day, right? So it's not even going that full distance. You could still get a 3:1 type of risk and reward ratio. If you want to give yourself a little bit more room, right, 20 pips, right, for price to move. Now you're getting a little close to that deeper retracement. Okay, then your risk reward is maybe about 2.5. Okay, still still not too bad there, right? So if we do a sort of a little demo trade here, okay, and let's just put this here. All right, so let's say you get in at this 2065, and you put this stop here for that's 85, so 20 pips. and your target is going to be down here at 2015. Okay, so 50 pips there, and then you just risk adjust. So let's say you're willing to risk $100, right? In order to make 250, then your lot size is 50,000 units, which is in MT4 world 0.5. Okay, so just put that in there. All right, so let me just show that up here on the settings, trading, show orders. Okay, so this is what it would look like, right? So if you're new to trading, right, this is a pretty useful tool to get you started. Trading view, I mean, because it kind of gives you the ability to plan out all of your trades, kind of gives you the numbers and parameters, a lot of flexibility around what those numbers should be, and then whichever broker you use, whether it be uh, you know um, one that is in your region that you're allowed to use, right? Then it doesn't matter which one you use, right? Um, because you're able to do all your calculations here and put all your orders in your broker of choice, right? But you can at least demo it out here, kind of calculate it out here, and kind of set all your parameters out here, do your planning here, and that way it kind of helps you to really be clear, right? That's what you want to do is define, right, what it is you are expecting to get out of the trade, right? So rather than just come into a particular market and just think, oh, I want to go short here, I want to go long here, right? What we try and coach people on is how to analyze the market, right? In particular, the climate, right, is what you would do first, right? At these higher time frames, right? Is the climate conducive to looking for shorting opportunities, or is it conducive to looking for buying opportunities, right? And then if you are an intraday trader, then you'll go to these lower time frames, and then you would do your planning, right, on that lower time frame and clearly set out for yourself, what the plan is. Now, you don't know, right? I mean, the scenarios, as we saw here, price could go here, could go here, could go here, or it could even break out, right, to the downside from here, right? It may not go and retrace, right? So do you have a plan for that? Is that how you trade? Is that part of you know uh, your planning process, right? To plan for not only retracement trades, which are a little bit more conservative because you're looking for some sort of pullback, or are you looking for a breakout trade where you expect price to continue, right? And so whatever techniques you use, right, the order UFOs and order climate is complementary to that, because you may be a Fibonacci trader, right? Or use that in your analysis, or maybe you look at trend lines, right? So if you're a trend line trader, right, then you would expect price to continue to the downside here, right? And maybe not retrace as far, right? This could be your trend line, right? And so if you've got this perspective, then it could be, right, that you're not going to get this retracement all the way up here. You may have to do a breakout trade, right? Because price is going to hit here and then it's going to move lower. So maybe you need to do a trade right here, right? And, do a market order, right? So do a market order. Still want to risk $100, right? Still want to have 20 pips. And, but then your risk and reward is a lot lower, right? If you're going to still target this 2015 area, right? So if we do that, 2015, right? Now you're looking at more of a one-to-one trade, but maybe you're okay with that, right? As an intraday trader. So if that's the case, then you take this trade, either straight away, right? Let's just do that now. So you could do that straight away, and I'm going to put the settings so I can actually see where the orders are, show position. Okay, so you may be doing this, right? Or maybe you do a breakout trade. Again, where do you want your profit? So if it's going to be here, right, then your breakout is going to be even less, less than one-to-one, unless you now change your target, right, to somewhere a lot lower, right? But again, what is your rules? What is your definition around all of that? So that's kind of what we go through in some of our coaching and stuff, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other markets here. Let's get up back to these higher time frames. Okay, and let's kind of take a look at the Aussie. So I'm going to take away these lines here at the top there. Extend that up. Okay, so we have an uptrend which has been under pressure here. I'm going to take these away. So we've got this low right here, and we've got these highs here. Okay, so kind of you're going through this sidewards sort of movement here, right? So we've got a big high up here. I'm going to take away these other ones just so we're focusing in on what's immediately in front of us and not get distracted. Okay. Okay. Go away. All right. And I'm going to take away this one as well. Okay. So we just focus on this move here. So let's just take a look at the order UFOs. Okay, looks like we've got an area of buying opportunity down below here. That's going to get in the way. Okay, put that there. And so again, actually I'm going to move this. Let me start again on this one. So we've got this area of selling, right? That's come up from here. Okay. All right. And it's got this magnet that kind of gets us exactly to the points where prices moved. So it takes a little bit of finesse sometimes. Okay, I'm just going to put it there. All right. So we had a big strong move to the upside. So I'm just going to draw slide from here, 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 here. And so if we're going to move down to the downside, right, then we will have not exactly a change in overall larger trend, but we do have this corrective move down here, right? So I think if we're looking at the Aussie, we're looking more to the downside here unless we break this high up here. Okay. So let's just jump down to the hourly. All right, and so we've got a little bit of indecision coming around this this area here, right? Prices come into this, reacted to this area here, this pricing area. Buyers have come in, and now we need to see if price can continue lower. Otherwise, there's probably an opportunity here. Okay, for us for a retracement trade to get short. Okay, short here, remove lower. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to move this here first. All right, so if we have this sort of move, all right, we're not going um, to break that high, all right? And so again, as an maybe a medium term sort of trade, all right? Okay, we could get this sort of move here. So where is our risk? So short position, if we take that here. Okay, about a 25 pip is there. And if you're going to go all the way down here, okay, past that low, past these lows here, okay, or maybe to the bottom of this low here, even then you get about about here, 2.5 risk and reward. Okay, so if we're going to do that, okay, let's get in at 78.20. Stop loss is at 25. And target, say 60 pips there. Okay, risk 100. Okay, so it's a 0.4 lot size. So risk 100 to make 240. Okay, and we place that in there like that. Okay. So again, if you're a intraday trader, right? We went all the way down to 15. If you maybe more of a little bit more of a swing trade, you don't mind holding things over a day, then so you can still get a decent sort of risk and reward ratio here. And if you're looking for something maybe a little further out, right, maybe all the way down here, we can get maybe 150 pips. That's over maybe a couple of days, right? If average true range on Aussie is about 70 pips, right? So if you want to get more than that, then you probably have to hold it for at least a day or two. Then you could have another trade here, okay, where you're still getting in at that same point, 78.2, still 25 stop, but maybe 150, right? Still risking 100, but now you're trying to make 600, all right? Okay, so you can put that trade in. Okay, so we'll see how these play out, but that's contingent, right, on you getting a retracement, up and then down. If you're going to do a breakout trade, that's what we didn't plan on the other one, right? You could again do a sell stop, right? So you do a stop order, and let's say at the break of 77.50. Right, in this case, you can still do a stop loss. It's still going to be higher up, right? And still targeting, say, 70, we'd have to do 76.60, say, 76.60, right? So, still risking $100, right? And so you have that placed as a stop market order, right? So it's a breakout of here, targeting down to the bottom of the trade here, right? Now, what happens if you have a breakout to the upside, right? So you have this sort of move, Oops, change that back. So let's say price goes up this way, then what do, right? Well, you could do a breakout trade here. So let's do a breakout trade, a buy stop, right? So maybe just a little bit above this area. So let's call it 45. Right, still stop loss using 25 pips, but maybe we want to go up to say 96. Let's call it 96. Okay, so it's a 4-to-1 sort of trade. Well, still risk 100 pips, right? And so you do a buy stop. Okay, so you know, depending on how you want to trade, right? You can use the order UFOs to help you identify those areas of selling and those areas of buying at the various time frames. Okay, and this is kind of what we're seeing on the Aussie, right? So a lot of expect some sell orders to come in here, and so if it does get through there, then yeah, could get a breakout back up towards 80, right? Or we could see a continuation to the downside, right? And so even if you're just targeting some of these areas here, we may actually want to move these a little higher because we do have an area of buying here, right? So if we want to, let's kind of refine this a little further. Okay, that there. Okay. And so we may need to adjust expectations, right? Just to be conservative. Let's just take it just a little bit above that low here, right? And so see if this will allow us to adjust that. Let's call it 70. Yeah, let's make it 77. I think it's better to do 77 there. This one as well. Like that's 77. Okay. And so we adjust our expectations, based on our analysis. Okay, so still good, profit margins that we can expect there, and just by risking $100. And so we've got scenarios for a breakout of these levels. We also have retracements to these levels and continuations to the upside, right? Okay. All right. So that's really all I've got for you today. We've gone through the dollar index. We expect prices to kind of pause, I think, until the Fed kind of starts to talk. If we don't get any movements there, then more than likely the non-farm payrolls will be the time that we look at for some sort of move in these markets. But as you can see, after that big sell-off, Aussie has retraced back and kind of paused a little bit. So it's not really giving much direction, but we plan for both scenarios, to the upside to the downside, right? So we can take opportunities either way. And for the euro, you could do the similar sort of thing as well, right? Okay. So that's what we have there as a kind of demonstrated, whether you're a trend trader using trend lines or using retracements, auto UFOs can help you to give you, good areas to position yourself either way, and at least help you to identify those areas that align with some of the other technicals that you may use in your trading there. Okay. All right. So if nobody has any questions, feel free to email me. Let me just jump back to my email for those who didn't come at the beginning of the session. You can reach me at andrew@tradewithufos.com. Otherwise, please do go to tradewithufos.com/Andrew and just join for the free membership. And that way we can keep in touch with you and you can find out what is going on in terms of these sessions, as well as get more information on our apps and courses and our coaching. All right. So that's all I have today. Thank you very much for joining, and have a good rest of the week and a good weekend ahead. All right. Thanks for joining tonight and today. Bye for now.